Welcome out again, everyone. Sports Talk Mania. I'm your host, Lee Haygood, sitting in here with you for the next hour from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Here just about every Monday, but every now and then we got things come up with Mustangs TV not able to be in, and also we are just human beings, and there's every now and then we just mess up. Got KJ Kyle Johnson, the CEO of Mustangs TV, sitting in the studio with us today. KJ, a lot going on in sports. Got opening day of baseball today. We've got, actually they played a game last night, but today is the official opening day of baseball. And then, of course, we've got the NCAA National Championship for basketball this evening between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Duke Blue Devils. And you and I are talking a little bit before we come on the air. Your thoughts is on the game, KJ. Go ahead and spill them out, because then I'm going to tell you why I think you're wrong.
Well, tonight's the national championship of the NCAA men's tournament. And I'm going with Wisconsin. I think that, they got by Kentucky, and I think that they're going to continue that momentum, if you will, on into tonight. And I think that, if you want to call it an upset, I think that Wisconsin's going to pull the upset over Duke.
Well, again, now I'm going to tell you why I think you're wrong. And I'll tell you this. I think I'm going to be pulling for Wisconsin. But I think Duke, having the experience, they've got 4 national championships under their belt. They've been to the big dance before. Wisconsin, not so, and I don't think Wisconsin's ever won a national championship. And you've got, to me, one of the best coaches in basketball, like him or not, and on the Duke side. And then you got an up-and-comer who was actually put up for the Hall of Fame, and Coach Cal out of Kentucky just got beat by this coach from Wisconsin the other night. Coach Cal was inducted into the College Sports Hall of Fame, College Basketball Hall of Fame, and the Wisconsin coach, he may have that chip on his shoulder, though, coming out to this evening, not getting elected to the Hall of Fame, and thinking maybe he should have, since he did beat Coach Calipari Saturday evening.
Well, Wisconsin is a team that strikes me as, they're non-cocky, they're not arrogant. They come out, coach included. It starts with the coach, and they come out and they play the game how it's supposed to be played. You don't see them, whining to the referees every trip down the floor. I haven't seen it anyway. You just don't see it. And it all starts with coaching. And, Wisconsin has, in my opinion, a coach that's on up there in the college game. And, he's been up there for quite some time. Wisconsin has always made some noise.
Well, and you're right about that, KJ. But the thing is, and they have been in the spotlight over the last few years, but, when you look at college basketball, Duke being one of the most profound college basketball teams ever, you got to rank them up there with Kentucky. And I'm kind of disappointed myself. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not saying I'm against Wisconsin. I will be pulling for Wisconsin, not just because, Duke has won all these titles, so I will be pulling for them. I just don't see Krzyzewski getting beat by anybody else in a championship game that hasn't been there before or hasn't put it up. I was wanting to see Calipari versus Krzyzewski this evening. I was wanting to see Duke versus Kentucky, 2 of the most dominant basketball programs in the NCAA in college basketball. I was wanting to see that. However, Wisconsin upset Kentucky, and I want to say a big upset the other night. No one, not many people anyway, expected that to happen. And we all know it could. That's the reason they play the games.
One game, and it takes is one game, and you're done.
Any team can get beat at any point in time. That's the reason the March Madness is as good as it is. Of course, we're in April now, but it starts out in March, and that's the reason everybody looks forward to that. Even your not so much college basketball fans look forward to March Madness, and of course the office pools that's out, and everybody Of course, if you was like me, you pretty much got put out of that early on in this tournament. But
me too. You're not alone there.
Still, I know a few people, my son included. He picked Wisconsin to win it all. So, he's still in it with his, but unfortunately mine got knocked out kind of early because I started losing some big games early on, or some of my bigger teams that I had going a little ways anyway. So that being coming up later on this evening, that game I think tips off here in about another 50 minutes or so, something of that nature.
I think about an 8 o'clock start our time,
8
something
o'clock,
like that.
that's right. I think they're going to start televising it somewhere around 7, give you the kind of the pregame show and all that stuff. But we also, again, got opening day baseball going on, and for all you Atlanta Braves fans out there, I'm going to try to keep you updated. As of right now, for the Braves, the score is 2-1. Braves are ahead of the Florida Marlins by a score of 2-1. And I'm going to tell you what, I've been paying a lot of attention to what's going on with these Braves, and let's talk a little baseball right now. The Braves have more or less got rid of, to me, one of the top 3 closers in baseball.
No doubt.
And everyone's asking, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? And at first it went through my mind as that. I'm thinking, well, these idiots, they've done got rid of everybody anyway. That they've got rid of the Uptons and everybody else, and now they're coming down and they're getting – and you kind of see that when you're looking at baseball. You kind of see them getting rid of these big contracts, getting rid of them. Let's bring some youngsters in because they got some great farm clubs. I mean, the Atlanta Braves have got some great farm club players all the way down to even single A. So they've got the players coming up. But then the big hit is you start getting rid of your pitching because you're thinking, okay, with the pitching staff you got, and especially the closer you got, and iffy bullpen at best, I'm going to say. But when you get to the closer, if you got the good starting pitching that can carry you 7 innings, if you can throw anybody in there to pitch, 1 inning, 1.5 innings, and then bring in your good closer in Kimbrel, you've got a pretty much a good ball game going right there. So, or a good coaching job, you could say, going right there. But now that they've got rid of Kimbrel, most people's questioning that. Okay, what about this? Well, the more I look into this, the more I'm seeing that with Kimbrel gone, they've got much more money to go get some of this young talent that they've got coming up. And reading a couple of these, 2 or 3 of these pitchers that they're going to probably try to eventually get in. May not stick him in, tonight or probably the first month of ball. But there's a couple of players coming up, and I had their names on the tip of my tongue right before we come on air, and I've lost it. But they've got a couple of pitchers that comes out of the bullpen that they're going to try at the closer spot. And one of them had like a .4 ERA last year in Double A, I believe it was.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to, some of this young talent coming up. As of right now, we're in the top of the 9th inning, it looks like, and it's still 2-1. 1 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes to A.J. Ramos. Ramos is pitching to Cameron Maben at this point.
Well, and we've got also not only the Major League Opening Day baseball that's been going on, but we've been in our local high school baseball and softball for a little while now, and both Loretta teams, that is, have gotten quite a few games in, and all across the county and all across the area. You've had baseball, high school baseball, softball teams playing, and we're gonna hopefully talk with Coach Troy Pettis from the Loretto Lady Mustangs softball team coming up here in just a little bit, but just baseball and softball in the air.
That's right. Got soccer coming up.
Yeah,
too.
soccer.
So,
they played a few soccer games already.
Yeah, got all these spring sports going on. So looking forward to speaking with a lot of these coaches. Hopefully next week, if everything goes right, supposed to have Coach Gary Lamb of the Loretto Mustang baseball team. Supposed to have him on here next Monday, hopefully, if everything works out. And again, it's we're not going to say anything bad on them, and I hope they don't say anything bad on us. Sometimes our schedules just don't come together, especially during baseball and softball season, because actually even Coach Pettis and his Lady Mustangs are supposed to be playing today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, both baseball and softball were supposed to play, and it's a little rainy outside today.
A little bit rainy, so the mud is on the field, so therefore the games have been called. Hopefully we can get Coach Pettis to call in here to Sports Talk Mania and speak with him on how his season's going and what his plans are for the remainder of the season. Just getting started. I guess we've been going probably almost a month now for high school baseball and high school softball. So get his up-to-date pointers and what's going on with the team and how everybody's looking out there and what his future plans are. Again, a lot of things going on in sports, and we probably can't get it all covered in an hour's time, but we're going to try our best here on Sports Talk Mania. We want to thank you for tuning in to us and joining us today. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We're going to get some words from our sponsors in, and we'll be back here on Sports Talk Mania right after this. The Tennessee National Raceway, where dirt track racing is at its best. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Come out each and every Saturday night during racing season, ladies and gentlemen, and see some of the best dirt track racing anywhere around this area. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee.
Southern Craft Manufacturing in Loretto, Tennessee blends old world craftsmanship and modern manufacturing for a multitude of steel and brushed finish caskets. Founder Rodney Robinson is dedicated to providing the finest quality at the best value. At Southern Craft Manufacturing, we are committed to choice with a variety of colors and hardware designs for limitless combinations. Southern Craft Manufacturing, North Main Street, Loretto. Toll free 800-413-1778.
Welcome back again, everyone, here on Sports Talk Mania, where we're going to talk anything sports. If you agree with KJ and you think the Wisconsin Badgers is going to win this evening, or if you agree with myself and think the Duke Blue Devils are going to win, give us a call. We'll talk about that. We'll talk anything sports here on Sports Talk Mania. Talk about opening day, if your team's playing today or you like it. Hey, something that just come to my mind about baseball. How about Pete Rose being reinstated to Major League Baseball?
Was he really? I did not hear about that.
I've seen reports of that. I'm not sure that it's 100% official, but I did see reports of that. I think it was yesterday or maybe even the day before yesterday, and we're going to see if we can't get something official pulled up. I mean, I seen it on the internet, so that makes it true, right?
Well, yeah, if you saw it on the internet, I mean, it's got to be true. You know.
Got to be true if you've seen it on the internet. That's what they tell me anyway. But, no, while we're on Pete Rose, I got to say this. Listen, it's been long enough that they've kept this man out of professional baseball and especially out of the Hall of Fame. I totally disagree with what's going on there. I'm not saying I agreed with what he done, but let's put things into perspective, KJ. This man, when he was managing the Cincinnati Reds, which was, his team that he played for most of his career, of course, in his later years, went and played a couple other places, I believe, but come back to Cincinnati to be the manager. Well, during this time at Cincinnati, being manager, he was reported to, and I think he actually finally come out and admitted that he did gamble on baseball. But the thing is, here's where, and everybody says, okay, well, that's cheating. That's not cheating, for one. Because, for one, he only bet on his team. Each and every time that he placed a bet was for the Cincinnati Reds. Now, if you're a manager of a baseball team, what are you trying to do?
Win.
You're trying to win. You're going to always try to win if you're the manager of a team. Well, unless you're one of these high school teams that got in trouble because they was trying to lose. But, for the most part, as a manager or a coach, you're going to always try to win the ball game, no matter what. Well, if you got money on there, are you trying even harder? Probably not. You're still trying to win the daggone ball game. And that's what, the thing that's just bugged me about this whole thing the whole time is the man bet on his own team. And most of us are confident in what we've got. And Pete Rose being confident in his team, he was so confident that his team was going to win. This man laid his own money on the line to bet that he was going to win. Now, again, whether you think gambling is right, wrong, or indifferent, that's your opinion. But what I'm saying is they've more or less made this man stay completely out of the sport that he loves more than anything probably in life, just because he bet on his own team to win a ball game. Well, whether you laid money on there or not, let's think about this. Before you walk on the field, the court, whatever, and it don't matter, KJ, if me and you went down here right now to the local tennis courts and played a match, before we walk on, we usually going to put something on it like a cold drink or something anyway, before we even go onto the field or the court to play or whatever sport we're doing. We're going to put a cold drink or something on it just to make it a little bit more competitive. We got a call coming in.
This will be Lady Mustangs softball coach Troy Pettis calling in. Coach Pettis, how you doing today?
Doing great, Cal. How are you?
Oh, we're doing good. This is Lee Haygood, and I'm KJ on Sports Talk Mania today.
Coach Pettis, you got them girls ready to go this year?
We're working hard. If we can ever get the weather cooperate.
Man, it seems like every other day we got rain falling or a chance of it anyway.
I have never seen a spring or even a late winter like we're having this year. These basketball girls have had a total of 4 practices this year.
Oh,
wow! And especially since their season ended 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks
3
ago
weeks
now.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, and you've only had that many practices. I know that's hard on you, Coach. Coach, just kind of update us on how the season has went so far. We know that a lot of games have been canceled because of rain, this, that, and the other. But what's your opinion on how the season's went up to this point?
Well, we come out of the gate hotter than a firecracker. Then we've hit a bump in the road. We've lost 4 games by a total of 4 runs.
Wow.
It's just one of them things. It's the way baseball and softball go. But we're gonna get this thing turned around. Like I tell the girls all the time, basketball, baseball, softball, it's a tournament sport.
Well, you got to, and you're absolutely right, especially in the high school level. You've got to get to the point where you can first make your way into the district tournament and win some games there so you can go on and go further in the season. Coach, talking about your run of bad luck, so to speak, or your bad happenings here the last few games, is there anything that's in particular that young ladies, is it something that's just the atmosphere, or kind of shed light on what's going on?
It's just it's like Giles County the other day. We're up 3 going into the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs and give up a walk-off home run. It's just some fluke stuff. It's an error here, error there, or not moving a runner. It's just costing us, but we're getting fixed. So,
well, Coach, again, looking on further down the road, of course, if we can get some of this rain on out of here, looking down the road, what do you see we need to change for the Loretto Lady Mustangs to start maybe getting these different bounces?
We got to start coming out of the gate a little quicker than we're doing. We're digging ourselves a hole in the first and second inning, what's killing us right now. But then we're having to fight. We're clawing back towards the end. We're just coming up a little bit short. We got another district game tomorrow night. It's Frank Hughes, which is also the Abigail's Plan game. We're going to donate the gate proceeds to Abigail's Plan tomorrow night. Everybody show up and come support that cause.
And that's at Frank Hughes, you said, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, KJ and I were just thinking, we were trying to remember if it was a home game or an away game.
Yeah, it's a home game tomorrow night, and like I said, they're gonna bring Abigail down, and she's gonna throw out the first pitch and be our bat girl for tomorrow night.
Hey, that's great.
Awesome.
That's going to be over at the Sports Complex in Loretto, Tennessee, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we invite all of our listeners on Sports Talk Mania and everybody that tunes into Mustangs TV for that. Rather see you out there. And like you said, Coach, all the proceeds going to Abigail's plan. And our hats off to you from here for getting this together and making this thing happen. Coach, as far as the season goes, are we kind of talk to us a little bit about girls softball? Because for the most part, when you watch girls softball, it's usually one or two pitchers. Have we got that dominant pitcher on this Lady Mustang team this year, or are we kind of going through a platoon?
We have got this is the most pitchers I've ever had on a softball team. We've got a total of 5 pitchers.
Wow.
And we've got Rachel Burton. She's a senior. She's been a little banged up early, but she's getting back healthy. And then Kat Burton, she's a freshman. She's pitched a lot of innings for us this year. And Kirsten Moore, Bailey Tankersley, Chelsea Clifton. So we just we can throw several arms at them.
Well, and I couldn't help from noticing, Coach, 2 of those were actually on the Lady Mustang basketball squad, and you said so far we've only had a total of 4 practices with them.
You are correct.
Wow. And again, my hat's off to all you guys for making all this stuff happen, because I know just like you, Coach Lamb with the Mustang baseball team, he had several players, that was playing as deep as in the state tournament, going to the Final Four that he had to get. So I know if you didn't have that many practices, he hasn't had that many practices with his guys.
Yeah, that's what we joke about a lot. See, he, in the years past, it's been the girls that's been going to the state tournament, and the boys, he's been getting the boys early. So we kind of flip-flop this year.
and with the weather like it is, Coach, it ain't good for neither one of you at this point in time, right?
I'm telling you, it's awful, man. It's awful.
Well, Coach, is there any one thing that you think our girls, I mean, like you said, you think this is you talking, or your opinion, you think that they're digging themselves a hole early. What can you do as the coach of the Lady Mustangs to get this thing? And again, my hat's off to you. I don't see how you guys work with this, especially getting these players off the basketball squads and all this. What does Coach Pettis need to do? By the way, Coach Pettis with us here, Loretto Lady Mustangs softball team. What do you need to do, Coach, to get this thing turned around so that these, one-run games, these real close games, start going in our favor? What do you need to do?
It's like I told them the other day. We had this talk, and we shouldn't, as athletes, you shouldn't have a button that needs pushed. You need to come out ready to go from the first pitch. And so we talk about 212 degrees. What's a certificate of 212 degrees, which is the boiling point of water.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, we're sitting on 211. we're really warm. We just ain't got boiling yet.
Hey.
And it's like I told y'all, it's a tournament sport. It's not, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So we're digging in for the long haul. So hopefully we'll get this thing turned around.
Oh, I'm sure you will, Coach. Again, one of the Loretto Lady Mustang softball squad always has a good season, and we don't expect anything less than that to happen this year. And I know you know that, and I know that you're going to do everything you can. With all this rain, though, Coach, one thing a question I've got to you, does all these rainouts, and I know it's going to hurt the girls, but does all these rainouts kind of put them in a different state of mind at this time of year?
It does. It's just like today, up until, I'm going to say about 12:30, this last batch of rain that come in, our field was good to go. and they're walking the halls, and hey, we still getting to play. It's every day they're asking, hey, are we getting to play today? Are we getting to play today? We just ain't had the mindset because of the weather. Yeah, we're getting to play today. So, it's more psychology to coaching than it is coaching, to be honest with you.
And that's the reason I had to ask that question, Coach, because, you and I both know as teenagers, which what you're coaching, when it gets this time of year where it's, 70, 80 degrees outside, and you've got that mindset of, hey, I can do this, I can do that, and then you try to get your mind prepped and ready to play ball, and all of a sudden the rain, a burst of rain comes through and puts it in. So that's the main reason I asked that question. Coach, who's looking in our district this year? Who do you see the team that's we're going to have to beat to go anywhere?
Well, if we've already beat Summertown. We beat Summertown 9-1 at their place. That was probably the most complete hitting game I've ever been a part of at Loretta. Collinwood come down here and beat us 3-2. And we ain't got to play Wayne County yet. But it's us, Wayne County, Collinwood, and Summertown. I mean, we're all neck and neck with each other, so it's going to be interesting.
So you got to start getting these. You got to turn these real close ones around to W's instead of L's, right, Coach?
We're sitting 2-1, which everybody right now, us, Summertown, and Collinwood are all sitting 2-1 in the district right now. So.
Wow, Woo! That's going to be a close one. Then you're right. It's going to come down to it. Coach, as far as looking on in, and I know we don't want to look too far ahead, but coming out, you mentioned the Summertown Lady Eagles, of course, and Wayne County and Collinwood. Who's that team besides? And I know we're going to put the Lady Mustangs up there on a pedestal of our own, but who we looking at besides those to actually make a lot of racket going deep into a tournament?
Probably, if I had to guess, out of that Cross Region, Columbia Academy is always tough. They've got several starters back from last year's state tournament team. And then I got to watch, with you always scout these teams, especially in your Cross Region. Forest, they've got two girls. I think they've got one that's signed with Chattanooga, and they've got another one signed, I think, maybe with Tennessee.
Wow.
That's pretty stout for a single-A softball team.
You're absolutely correct. I'm pretty sure you're right about that. I was reading something about that the other day where that young lady had she had either already signed or was looking to sign with Tennessee. So I know you're correct on that. Coach, one more time, we don't want to let you go without you telling us again what's going on tomorrow at the Loretta Lions Club Sports Complex.
Yes, sir. We've got Abigail's plan. It's using our field to help hers has kind of been the motto. Abigail's going to come down and throw out the first pitch. She's going to be our back girl tomorrow, and all the proceeds and the gate donation we're donating to Abigail's plan. And I also think I'll get a little plug in for Coach Lamb too. I think Coach Lamb is going to donate his gate from the baseball game tomorrow to Abigail's plan.
Wow, kudos to both of you guys for that, by the way. Coach, just in case somebody doesn't know, and I know most people do, but just in case somebody doesn't know, the Abigail's plan is about making a field in, I think it's Lawrenceburg, where they plan on putting this. But tell us more about Abigail's plan.
It's going to be, what they're trying to do is make an all rubberized softball field, which will be, completely rubberized for disabled kids. And they've got the idea from the field in Huntsville, I believe. But it's going to cost them $350,000 to build this field, and I think they're sitting around $325. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're really close.
Right.
So we're trying to get them over this hump right here towards the end, and hopefully they can get this field built for these kids.
Hey, we're going to do our best here on Sports Talk Mania, MustangsTV.com to publicize this just a little bit more and get it on out there, Coach. Again, kudos to you and Coach Lamb. If that's the situation, I'm sure it is. Both of you great guys and great leaders of our young student athletes and doing an excellent job. And, again, my hat's off to both of you for having to pretty much make your team come together at the last minute with kids coming out of basketball straight into softball and baseball. So our hat's off to you. Coach, anything you want to add?
Maybe y'all can call the TSSAA and get these seasons redone so we can get a little practice time. I mean, it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have at Loretta, because I'm gonna tell you, I've been coaching the softball coach down here now, I think going on 5 years, maybe 5 or 6. And Kyle can probably know, but I think it's 4 out of the 6 last years our girls have been in the state tournament. Am I close, Kyle?
Let's see.
I think you're correct.
Yep,
4 times, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's kind of been I've just kind of planned around it for these years. I mean, it's kind of expected. So, we've they've grown used to it, and listen, if it wasn't for elite sports up there, what David Weathers built, we would be in a world of hurt. The weather and all that good stuff. So, but
and I agree with you there. Hats off to David for the elite sports. It's my understanding that Coach Lamb's actually having a practice in there today since they couldn't play their ball game.
That's right. We practice in there. Both of us do actually. We'll anytime over the course of this winter and early spring, we basically lived in there.
Well, Coach, again, we got Coach Pettis with us, coach of the Loretta Lady Mustangs softball squad. Coach, it's been a pleasure for myself, and I know KJ as well, for you joining us today. Hope we can get you back in here some more. I don't want it to be any more rain-out ball games or anything, but if nothing else, we may can get you, recorded during the week or something to kind of let us know about how your season's going and what we're looking for in the future.
Absolutely. I'd be more than glad to.
Again, Coach Pettis with the Loretta Lady Mustangs softball squad. Coach, best of luck to you for the remainder of the season. Hopefully we can get some of this rain out of here, and you guys, especially tomorrow, can do this Abigail's plan, get a big turnout over there, and I, for one, plan on at least stopping by there myself, if nothing else, just to make an appearance to help out what I can help out anyway. We
appreciate I think Tommy's going to bring some shirts down too and sell some shirts at the ball game too. So, every little bit helps.
Well, awesome. Hey, we'll definitely get that on to our website and everything, since I got the CEO sitting right here beside me. So we'll make sure that gets on MustangsTV.com and spread out everywhere else. Coach Pettis, again, want to thank you for joining us today. Want to thank you for giving us your time, and look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
See you, Kyle. Bye-bye.
Coach Pettis with us with the Loretta Lady Mustang softball squad. Like he said, KJ, it's one of those things when you get this time of year, and everybody knows, the spring showers bring Mayflowers or whatever.
Whatever that saying is.
April showers bring Mayflowers. That's it. and you know that it's supposed to be that time of the year where it's actually supposed to be a lot of rain falling. But I agree with Coach Pettis. Matter of fact, the last 2 years to me, come this time of year, it seems like you're dodging rain.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing. And again, that's the reason I kept saying my hat's off to him and Coach Lamb for trying to put together, this. And like he said, 4 of the last few years, I know we went to 4 tournaments, state tournaments in girls basketball or ladies basketball over the last few years. And, of course, our Mustangs went to the Final Four this year in basketball. My hat's off to these coaches, because with all this rain coming down, how do you actually coach a team?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. And, I want to get your input, too, on this, Lee. And if I had thought about it, we'd ask Coach Pettis. There's been some discussion, and I've noticed some discussion going on across the state on MustangsTV.com. They've got the message boards on there. There's been some discussion about some folks think that baseball and softball should be fall sports and basketball should be spring sport.
Why do you want to be in a gym when it's pretty outside, though?
Well, you've got a good point there, but if you think about it, I mean, it kind of makes sense.
No. I agree with the weather thing. Trust me, I understand.
Because whether it rains or not in the spring, you can still play basketball.
Well, I totally understand where they're going with the weather thing, but you know what? People don't want to be in a gym if it's 70, 80 degrees outside and sunny.
I can see that too.
But I can see their point about the weather thing, but, we've went all these years, and opening day of baseball is usually April 1st, and that's the one thing that just bothers me anymore about, professional baseball, Major League Baseball, is now they're going to stick it some other day. So, back in the past, it was April 1st was that day. So, why isn't it always? But, hey, I know times change. We got to change with the times, and it is what it is. But, again, I want to thank Coach Troy Pettis with the Loretta Lady Mustangs softball team for joining us today here on Sports Talk Mania. We couldn't do it without people like Coach Pettis, and we couldn't do it with people like you tuned in to us here on Sports Talk Mania. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
You are number one Mustang fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Loretto Insurance Services, a winning combination. We'll work with you to ensure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call Loretto Insurance Services in Loretto today, 931-853-7126.
The Tennessee National Raceway, where dirt track racing is at its best. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Come out each and every Saturday night during racing season, ladies and gentlemen, and see some of the best dirt track racing anywhere around this area. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee.
At Southern Craft Manufacturing, our commitment to choice sets us apart. Using both old-world craftsmanship and modern techniques, we proudly provide the finest quality and greatest value caskets in the industry. Founder Rodney Robinson is a third-generation casket manufacturer, providing the highest quality finished product. Call toll-free 800-413-1778, Southern Craft Manufacturing on North Main Street in Loretto, Tennessee.
Welcome out, everyone, to Sports Talk Mania again. Again, big thanks going out to Coach Troy Pettis with the Loretta Lady Mustang softball squad. I want to thank Coach Pettis for joining us today to fill us in on what's going on the ladies' side of the diamond, and hopefully we get Coach Lamb in here next week to talk about the men's side of the diamond, and definitely want to pass this along. Don't forget, tomorrow, you heard Coach Pettis talk about the game tomorrow against Frank Hughes, I believe he said it was our opponent.
Yes. Coming
into the Lions Sports Complex over there, right here in Loretto, Tennessee. All proceeds from tomorrow's softball game, and I think he said, Coach Lamb said, even from the Loretto Mustang baseball game, all proceeds is going to go to Abigail's plan to try to get that field built, that all soft field, pretty much, so to speak, so these kids can get out and play, the ones, that can't take the hard bumps and bruises of the real diamond. At least it's going to be their real field to play on. So looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to make my way over there, and I hope I can talk a lot of other people to doing that as well to see what's going on.
Another good thing, good about the rubberized field, it don't matter if it's been raining or not. If it's sunshine, they could play because it's a rubber field.
Yeah, you're right.
And so, right. That's just imagine the possibilities right there.
And they may have even more fun out there playing in the rain.
Yeah, I believe I would.
Especially on one of them 95-degree days, when it starts really warming up at the end of baseball, softball season, and, any of these spring sports. Again, I want to talk about soccer a little bit. Our Loretto soccer team, I think it's coached by Harley Simback, Coach Harley Simback this year, I believe, taking over the reins of the Loretta Mustangs soccer team. So
we'll try to get Coach Simback to call in next Monday as well to give us an update on the guys' soccer this year. And I know I went to a game last Monday, and it was supposed to start at 6 o'clock. And got there, and they had me playing music for them and everything, which I didn't mind one bit to do.
Right.
Sat there, and game time come up, and it started lightning. And so they said, well, the referee said, well, no, everybody get inside. The policy on I think on baseball, softball, and soccer,
right.
any of the outside sports is if they spot lightning, they send everybody. In baseball and softball, they send you to the dugout.
Right.
If it's soccer, they would say go inside if you can. So
right.
With them playing that game at the football field, they said everybody go inside, and you got to wait 30 minutes. Well, then 30 minutes, they kept spotting lightning, and of course it come a little sprinkle, and so they finally just canceled the game and actually had it rescheduled for today at 5. I'm not real sure if they ended up getting to play that one today as well.
I'm almost don't put me in Pete Rose category, but I'm almost bet against that.
I won't put you in the Pete Rose category, hey good. So if anybody out there knows how the soccer team is doing, if they are playing, if they're not, if they have any other information on that, please do give us a call here on Sports Talk Mania. Phone lines are open, 931-629-1824, or drop us an email at sportstalk@MustangsTV.com.
And we've always got any sports to talk about here on Sports Talk Mania. We even talk professional wrestling sometimes. If you're a wrestling fan, want to talk a little bit about what happened in WrestleMania just come by. And KJ, even though you don't pay attention to wrestling, I'm sure you hear about WrestleMania.
Let me tell you something. The other night during WrestleMania, my Facebook blew up with people just, people I didn't even know were wrestling fans. They just come out of the woodwork right there, and I'm just going, hey, this is awesome. Which where did they have it this year? Where did they have WrestleMania?
It's usually they had it at Stadium San Francisco.
I heard it was a huge stadium.
Yeah, it was 75,000 people.
And
there,
I guarantee they sold that thing out.
Oh
too.
yeah, it was supposed to be the most ever, I think, for any event, any wrestling event anyway. So they set a record. But you know what? Next year, I can tell you exactly where WrestleMania is going to be. It's going to be where the Dallas Cowboys play their football game.
My goodness, AT&T Stadium.
AT&T Stadium.
Hey, you think that place holds a lot for a football game or a basketball game? You put all them additional bleachers in there.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness.
You just wait. Next year will be another record. And people think here's what gets me. I've been a wrestling fan all my life. I mean, that's just one thing. And don't tell me it's fake, because I know better. It's all real. No, seriously. Now, I am right-minded, believe it or not. But either way,
hey, I can testify to that.
The awesomeness of me, does come out at wrestling events. But either way, KJ, think about this. This man, talking about Vince McMahon Sr., not talking about the one that's running the show now, but Vince McMahon Sr. had this vision years and years ago that people would watch this wrestling that's so-called fake, so-called real, how you want to look at it. It's entirely up to the viewer. Okay, he had this vision of sports entertainment. Okay, honestly, when you go to watch even a high school football game, baseball game, talking about Coach Pettis and his Lady Mustangs, talk about a softball game, when you go watch, why do you go watch? You go watch for the entertainment, correct?
Yeah, and to see your team win.
And to see your team win. And that's the same reason wrestling fans go to wrestling, to watch John Cena win, The Undertaker win, whoever's at these wrestling events. Brock Lesnar. A lot of people know Brock Lesnar from MMA. They may not have knew he was even a wrestler before he became an MMA fighter, or, anything of that nature. But that's entertainment. And that man had a vision that this is going to make millions and millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars. I'm sure overall it's billions.
No, you know it.
If not even in the trillions by now. But Of course, Vince McMahon Jr. come along, and he kept it going on and started putting in some different tactics here and there, and got people, like I say, 75,000 people watching a wrestling match,
yeah.
or several wrestling matches during a night's time. So hey, I can understand your Facebook blowing up. As many friends you got on yours anyway, and I'm sure Twitter was blowing up as well, because I was watching a lot of WrestleMania, and while I watched it, you'd always see these tweets come in, from different people, even some of the biggest stars in sports and TV and movies and everything. So that's one of those things. Again, we'll talk sports, we'll talk wrestling, we'll talk baseball, softball, basketball. It doesn't matter. You can give us a call. Phone lines are open, whether KJ and I are rambling about it or not. Phone lines are open at 931-629-1824. Back to that championship ball game, KJ.
Hey, what about the girls' championship game going to be coming up here? We're going to have UConn against, does it really matter who they play?
No, good? I don't think it does.
I don't either, unfortunately.
Tell me how this man, Gino Auriemma, tell me how he gets this good a team. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach, and I'm even putting him up there in the high rankings of Pat Summitt, if not better than Coach Pat Summitt overall. Tell me how he gets this team year after year. And we're not talking a Kentucky squad, KJ. We're not talking Kentucky men's basketball where they come in and play 1 year and then go to the NBA or the WNBA.
Right.
We're talking this guy gets 4 years, 3 years usually at least, if not all 4 years out of these players. And every year, and I know people are like me, they get tired of seeing, UConn women's basketball, especially us Tennessee fans. We got so tired of seeing it. But you got to take your hat off and give credit where credit's due. How does this man do that, KJ?
Hey, good. I have no idea. I mean, it seems like every year it's UConn, and they get through the tournament with no problems, and I mean, I would dare say, don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest Lady Vol fan ever that you will ever see, and I honestly, I have no idea. I mean, Gino is up there every year. It seems he adjusts his recruiting style, and he adjusts, with the times, and he does what he has to do to get that top talent. It's never a question of if he's going to get the number one player in the nation and, the number one player in this position and that position. He just does it. And, do I think he cheats? No, I don't think he cheats. Not on the women's side, but I do know that somehow he has managed to get the top talent in the country for the past at least 10 years.
Oh, every bit of 10 years. I'm going to say go back 15 years, if not even further than that. But you say they're not cheating. Okay.
I don't think they are.
Well, here's something that I got to say about that. I believe that every big college team, and we're going to throw Tennessee in there, I think we all break the rules.
Oh, yeah, let's define cheating for just a second. Now, I'm not going to say that UConn don't, maybe start practice a little early in the year than they're supposed to.
Is that not cheating, though?
Let's define cheating. What do you define as cheating?
Anything against the rules.
Okay, well then,
if you're going against the rules, that is cheating.
If you define it as anything against the rules, I would dare say that 99% of all universities and colleges out there cheat in some way. Now, I guess the discussion turns to how much are they cheating? What do you consider, too much cheating?
Well, and I agree with your thought process there, KJ. My thing is, you can't tell me that these kids are not starting, like you said, maybe starting practice a little early. a little bit of green stuff is being put in their hands somewhere to come to Alabama or Tennessee versus going to Florida or whatever.
Now, something like that, I would consider more serious cheating.
Well, now wait a minute. Cheating is cheating.
Yeah, but
that's just like a lie. You can't tell a small lie or a big lie. A lie is a lie.
Yeah.
You agree with me on that?
All right, I'll let you talk.
Okay, well then that's where I'm saying if you're going to break the rules, and again, this is just my opinion, JMO, believe it or not, I knew those letters. JMO, just my opinion, I think anytime you go against the rules, that is cheating. And I'm not going to say the 99% that you did, but I'm going to say most, if not the 99% that you brought up, do break the rules somewhere, starting practice early, doing something that they're not supposed to be doing exactly by that rule book. And I know rules are made to be broken is the big, verbiage that you hear.
In the NCAA, they've got secondary violations, which they don't consider to be as serious as a major, violation.
Right. But, again, it's still cheating.
Yeah.
Whether it's a secondary or a major, either way, it's still cheating. Which, by the way, got to talk about you for just a second. Big.
What about me?
Big season ticket holder.
Yep, I pulled the trigger, Lee, and I guess I hadn't got to tell everybody about that. Just seeing the kind of program that Butch Jones is running at Tennessee, and seeing how the players seem to be responding, and seeing how he seems to be getting some of that good top talent in Knoxville, I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger, if you will, and I bought season tickets.
Hey, I'm proud for you, man. I seen that your post the other day, and I was tickled over that. I know how much you enjoyed last year. You and Kenny B, I think, just about went to every one of them.
Yeah, and see, last year I did the whole StubHub thing. I would say, well, yeah, I want to go to this home game, so I got on StubHub, and I essentially probably bought somebody else's season tickets for that game and went. But one thing that really opened my eyes, and I felt, I'm not going to say I felt bad about it, but it made me, what really made me see. That listen, if you enjoy going to these games, if you enjoy supporting the university, and I mean by supporting the university, I mean, putting your some finances in there. Dave McCroy, who is also a season ticket holder here, he lives in down in St. Joe, Tennessee. One night he asked me to go to a little, it was a gathering for season ticket holders, and they could bring a guest. Okay. And how it worked is, everybody just kind of gathered around the table. They had a meal and some appetizers, if you will, out there, and they all had a very serious discussion about what are some things we can do to improve your experience at Neyland Stadium. And, the university had a representative there. She answered any questions that anybody had, about the football team, about Knoxville, about Neyland Stadium. She answered them the very best that she could, and she did a very good job. But, that kind of thing, and just talking to Dave, made me realize that if you enjoy, going to these events, if you enjoy, seeing Butch Jones just light up after he gets off a phone call from a recruit that tells him they're coming to Tennessee, if you enjoy all of those things, these people need support financially. You can't do that. And I know that, college football is a big money-making, thing. I mean, it's, billions of dollars, the NCAA's pulling in. But, the universities need all the local support that they can get, and season tickets are a great way to help the university out and get some great seats at the same time.
Well, and you just brought up something that may be something that we'll put on tap for next Monday, since we're nearing the end of our hour here. But next Monday, we may talk about this. You talked about the billions of dollars that the NCAA brings in. And the question's out there, should these student athletes be making a little bit of those billions of dollars?
Yeah, that's been out there for quite some time.
That's something that we may hit on next week here on Sports Talk Mania. Still got plenty of time left in the day show if you want to get in, get a phone call in. We've got about 5 minutes remaining here on the show. We're going to keep it right here for those 5 minutes. We're going to, again, phone lines are open at 931-629-1824. Be glad to take your call, answer a question, or just discuss something with you. But we want to get back on, since tonight is the championship night. We want to get back on this game, and we'll probably stay on it till the end of the show unless someone calls in and wants to discuss something else. Anything sports related, we definitely take your call. Again, phone lines will be open while we're discussing this for the last few minutes at 931-629-1824. KJ, you're saying Wisconsin's going to win, and I say Duke is going to win simply because I'm basing my facts and my opinion on Duke Blue Devils 4-time national championship. Okay, we got Wisconsin, who's never won a championship, I don't believe. So that's where I'm going with this one. I'm going to pull for Wisconsin just because they are an underdog.
Right.
And that's who I usually go with. However, I can't go against my opinion and my thoughts of Duke going to win the game. And I think it's going to be a good game. What's your thoughts on the game? You think it's going to be a close game?
Oh, no doubt. I think it's going to be as good, if not better, than advertised. You know, I mean, I think Vegas has the odds in Wisconsin's favor, believe it or not. I couldn't believe that when I saw that earlier today. But
well, that's probably just because they beat Kentucky. Is that your thoughts too?
Could, yeah. I mean that you know, I think that's got a lot to do with it. But you know, it's I don't know. It's going to be a really good game. I'm pulling for Wisconsin, one, because they're the underdogs,
right.
If you will. And two, I just really like their style of play. And three, third reason, I'm not a big Mike Krzyzewski fan. I've never have been,
Well, I'm not going to say he's got many fans out there outside of the Duke faithful.
No, I'm not saying he's not a good coach,
right.
Because I think he's obviously proven that in the ACC. But I've never been a fan. It's like Gino Auriemma. I've never been a fan. Now Pat Summitt, yep, I've always been a fan. Philip Fulmer, yep, I'm a fan. But those two, Gino and Mike, just fall into two coaches I've never been a fan of.
Well, but are you not a fan of them because of how good they are and how much they win?
Well, that may have a little bit to do with it.
Well, and I think a lot of us, including myself, I'm as guilty as you or anyone else. When I see somebody that's not my team, if they're not my team, I get tired of them winning. I get tired of them winning. Well, then it's not that I'm going against a winner. It's the fact that I get tired of the same people winning year after year after year after year. And then it always pops that question in your head, what are they doing to do this? Same question I asked you a little earlier. What does Auriemma do to continue getting all these good players that he gets in Connecticut? What is Coach K, what's he do that keeps getting all these good players at Duke, And outside of basketball, what is Duke known for? Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much nothing.
I mean, they pretty much don't even put a football team on the field, and that's not saying anything against student athletes. That's just a point that they don't want nothing at Duke except basketball.
Well, with David Cutcliffe, that's gotten a little bit better, though. David's head coach over there at Duke. But, generally, basketball's their top thing.
Exactly, and that's what, that was my point on this. I'm not saying that the Duke football team don't win football games. Heck, I think they finished second, to Florida State the last couple of years. So, I know they got talent there, but they don't want to be known for anything except basketball. But when you got Coach K, one of the winningest coaches of all time there, why would you not put him out there? Why would you not advertise just your big? That's just like at Loretto Telephone Company or Loretto Telecom. They going to put out there and advertise their best thing. Right. All the time. And that's what Duke does. They put out there and they advertise their basketball squad because they're so good. What's the University of Alabama always advertise? Football.
Yeah.
They advertise their football. Yeah, they got great field team, like a track and field squad. Gymnastics. They win championships in these as well. But they don't advertise this stuff. That's because that's not what they're wanting. They're wanting to advertise that football. Why? You said the exact thing. All these billions of dollars coming in that's bringing these millions of dollars to the schools. You mentioned the $1 billion. That's the NCAA.
Right
now, you go to each individual school, and like Alabama and Tennessee and all these more football oriented schools, they're bringing in all this millions of dollars to the schools. So that's one thing, like I say, we'll probably get into that next Monday on Sports Talk Mania. That's something that we can throw out there for people, our listeners, and everyone to kind of be thinking of what they might want to call in next week and say. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in here with us today on Sports Talk Mania. I know I've had a great time, and especially appreciate Coach Troy Pettis with the Loretto Lady Mustangs softball squad for giving us a few minutes of his time today and gracing us with a few things that's coming up for the Loretto Lady Mustangs softball squad. Looking forward, hopefully next week might have Coach Gary Lamb of the Loretto Mustangs on here with us, so a lot in store. Don't forget championship game tonight, and most of all, don't forget the games tomorrow at the Loretto Lions Club Sports Complex, where the Loretto Lady Mustangs softball squad and the Loretto Mustang baseball squad, of course, weather permitting, is able to get out there, and all proceeds will be going to Abigail's Plan. We hope everyone that's tuned in to us here on Sports Talk Mania and MustangsTV.com will get that and pass the word around, and let's get as many people over there to the complex, KJ, tomorrow as we can.
Absolutely.
As for myself, I'm Lee Haygood.
I'm Kyle Johnson.
Everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you next week on Sports Talk Mania here on MustangsTV.com. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank our sponsors as well. Until next time, Godspeed.